Hi everyone, welcome back to my channel. So today we will be doing Merchant of Venice Act 2 Scene 1. We have already completed the previous act and the previous scene of the Act 2. Okay, so I will be giving the links of all those videos down below in the description box. Let's begin. Flourish cornets. Enter Portia with the Prince of Morocco and both their trains. So flourish cornets is a trumpet sounds to welcome someone. And both their trains is basically the followers of both Portia and Morocco. Portia to servant. Go draw aside the curtains and discover the several caskets to this noble prince. So Portia she instructs one of her servant to draw aside the curtains so that the caskets they can be shown to Morocco, and he does the same. To Morocco. Now make your choice. Now Portia she instructs Morocco to make his choice. Now, as the curtains are drawn and all the three caskets they are visible, so Morocco reads the inscriptions on each of the casket. So the first one is the gold one. The first of gold, who this inscription bears, who chooseth me shall gain what many men desire. The meaning of this inscription is we can easily understand it by reading the line that what many men desire. The second, silver, which this promise carries, who chooseth me shall get as much as he deserves. This third, dull lead with warning all as blunt, who chooseth me must give and hazard all he hath. How shall I know if I do choose the right? Now, the first one is the gold casket, and it has an inscription that the person who will choose it will get what many men desire, what many men want to get. The second one is a silver one, which the inscription it basically provides a promise. Okay, so you can learn this that in second one it is giving a promise. Promising inscription is there, which tells us that he shall get what he deserves. Okay, and the third one is specially referred as dull lead because Morocco reads it aloud that the lead is very blunt, has no value and all. And it is mentioned that the lead casket it shows a warning inscription. So what is the inscription? That he must put all his things at risk. Okay, so then Morocco he asked Portia that how will I know that I have chosen the right casket? Portia, the one of them contains my pictures, prince. If you choose that, then I am yours with her. So Portia she says that one of the casket contains my portrait, and if you choose the correct casket, that is the one which has a portrait, you will have me along with it. Okay. Morocco. Some god direct my judgment. Let me see. I will survey the inscriptions back again. Now Morocco, he prays to God that please let me choose the correct casket. And he says that now I will read all the inscriptions back again. He first reads the lead casket. Who chooseth me must give and hazard all he hath. Must give for what? For lead? Hazard for lead? This casket threatens men that hazard all. Do it in hope of fair advantage. A golden mind stoops not to shows of dross. Now Morocco, he is not very happy with the lead casket as it shows the warning, and he as the warning says that you have to give everything to someone. So he says that for what should I give all my things? But for lead which has no value at all. So he says that this casket has a threatening inscription and I will not give anything for a lead. And he says a golden mind, that is a pure good gentleman, stoops not to shows of dross. Okay, so stoops is bend down, like we bend down to show respect and all, not to shows of dross. Dross is worthless thing. So he says that a gentleman or a noble mind never bows down in front of worthless things. So here he is referring to worthless as a lead casket. I will then nor give nor hazard aught for lead. So he says, I will neither give nor put anything to risk just for a lead casket. What says the silver with her virgin hue? So now he moves on to the next casket, that is the silver, which has a very pure color. Who chooseth me shall get as much as he deserves. This is the inscription on silver casket. As much as he deserves, pause there, Morocco, and weigh thy value with an even hand. If thou beest rated by the estimation, thou dost deserve enough, and yet enough may not extend so far as to the lady. Now he says that if I compare myself with an impartial ways, then based on my merits and my standards, I do deserve a lot, but it might not be enough to win over the lady that is Portia. And yet to be afraid of my deserving were but a weak disabling of myself as much as I deserve. Why? That's the lady. So now he says that as I'm not sure of how much I deserve, this can show the weakness and this might lower my chance to win over the lady. I do in birth deserve her, and in fortunes, in graces, and in qualities of breeding. But more than these, in love I do deserve. So now he says that I deserve her because of my birth, that I have grown in such a rich family, my fortunes, my graces, my standard, and my different qualities. He says, but more than all of these things, what I deserve, what is the thing that makes me more deserve of lady that is Portia is my love for her. What if I strayed no further but chose her? Now he is thinking that what if I don't go any further to the golden casket and just choose this one because I literally deserve her. Let's see once more this saying graved in gold. So now as Morocco he was deciding to just chop at silver and choose it. He now decides that just read the gold inscription once again. Who chooseth me shall gain what many men desire. Why, that's the lady, all the world desires her. From the four corners of the earth they come to kiss this shrine, this mortal breathing saint. Now he says that all the world they desire the lady that is the Portia, and from all the four corners of the earth they come to kiss this shrine, this mortal breathing saint. So all these words they are used to mention to Portia. The Hurricanian deserts and the vasty wilds of wild Arabia are as thoroughfares now for princes to come view fair Portia. So he says the Persian deserts and the vast wild lands of the Arabia, they are like an obstacle to visit the fair Portia. The watery kingdom, whose ambitious head splits in the face of heaven, is no bar to stop the foreign spirits, but they come as over a book to see fair Portia. So now he says that the watery kingdom, now here he is mentioning the oceans and different seas, which have such strong waves as if they reach the heaven. So he says that all the people, all the foreigners who come from four corners of the earth, they are so determined to win Portia that they cross these heavenly watery kingdoms just as if they are crossing the streams, just to visit Portia. One of these three contains her heavenly picture. Now he refers that one of these three caskets, that is lead, silver, and gold, they consist of Portia's picture. Is it possible that lead contains her? To think so base a thought, it were too gross. To rib her celoth in the obscure grave. So now he thinks of each of the casket that which one contains the portrait. First of all, he comes to the lid and then he decides that it is a very low thought to think of Portia's portrait to be locked in lead. He even says that lead is not even valuable enough to be that Portia's grave could be stored in it. Or shall I think in silver she is immured, being 10 times undervalued to tried gold. Now he comes to the silver. He has already refused the lead casket. Now he comes to the silver and he decides that can it be that silver has a portrait of Portia, but then he says that silver is 1/10 the value of gold. Oh, sinful thought! Never so rich a gem was set in a worse than gold. He says that this thought is very bad. Such a rich gem like Portia cannot be sent to anything below gold. They have in England a coin that bears the figure of an angel stamped in gold, but that's inscribed upon. But here an angel in a golden bed lies all within. Now he says he remembers one thing, that in England there is a coin, golden coin, which has an angel figurine stamped on it or engraved on it. But see what here it's going on, that an angel, that is Portia, she is lying in the golden bed, that is the golden casket. According to him, he chooses the golden casket. Deliver me the key. Here do I choose and thrive as I may. Now he asks for the key of the golden casket. Okay. Now a few things to be kept in mind. All the things that we have read in this dialogue of Morocco, all these things he thought to himself. He never said it aloud. So Portia and all the other people in that room, they don't know what all he said because these are all his thoughts. Okay. What he says aloud is that deliver me the key, here do I choose and thrive as I may. Okay, so he's asking for the key, that is what he speaks. And this paragraph is extremely important because here it tells you why he didn't choose a lead casket, because he thinks that Portia is not that lead casket is not valuable enough to have Portia in it. Next, for silver, he refuses silver as well because the value of silver is almost 1/10 that of gold, and such a precious gem like Portia cannot be kept anything below gold. Next, he chooses gold because it is the top most valuable metal at the time. Okay, so all these things can be asked, and it is asked a lot of time that mostly it is asked that why Morocco choose golden casket, but there can be questions where you are asked why he didn't choose the lead or the silver casket as well. So remember this very nicely. Portia, giving Morocco a key. There, take it, prince, and if my form lie there, then I am yours. Now Portia, she hands over the key of the golden casket to Morocco and says that if my portrait is there in the casket, then I will be yours. Now Morocco, he opens the golden casket. Morocco, oh hell, what have we here? A carrion death, within whose empty eye there is a written scroll. I will read the writing. Now what happens is, as soon as Morocco he opens the golden casket, what he finds is a dead skull, I mean a skull of a human being, and in the socket of the eye, so socket is basically the empty hole which represents the eye of the skull. So in the socket of eye, there was a scroll in it, and he says that something is written on the scroll and I will read it, and then he reads what's written on the scroll. And now next will come is what's written on the scroll. It is extremely important because the question regarding the scroll, it comes a lot. Okay, so what happens is that they ask what was the conclusion of the whole writing in the scroll, or they give a particular line of the poem kind of thing which is written on the scroll, and you have to explain the significance of that line. All that glistens is not gold. Often have you heard that told. So everything that is very shimmering or very glittery is not always gold. By gold means is not always good. Many a man his life hath sold, but my outside to behold. That many of the men they have lost their lives just to see the exterior of mine. That is the beauty of the Portia. They have not seen what's inside her, her inside beauty. Gilded tombs do worms enfold. That the golden tombs which have golden layer around it, they have worms inside. Had you been as wise, as bold, young in limbs, in judgment old, your answer had not been inscrolled. Now, what the scroll further says is that if you would have been wise, as bold you are, as your limbs are very young, that if you would have been a wise person, then your answer would not have been in a scroll. Instead, it would have been a portrait of Portia. Fare you well, your suit is cold, cold indeed, and labor lost. So now the scroll, it bids farewell to Morocco, saying that all your hopes are dead. Then farewell heat and welcome frost. Now it says that you also say goodbye to your love and now welcome disappointment. Now here the scroll it ends. Okay, so this scroll it's very important. They might ask that what does a scroll basically mean to say, or give a brief that what the scroll has said. So you will write all those things, that he who is guided by the glitters of the thing is generally deceived. That basically the thing is that do not judge a book by its cover. Everything that glitters or is shimmery, it's not always good from inside. Even the golden tombs, they can have worms inside. Okay, so you should think with full wiseness, and not only outside, not only see the exterior, you should also see what inside the person as well. Okay, so this is what the scroll basically meant to deliver. And they might even ask you like the two lines which I have highlighted. These two lines can come separately as well, that what this lines basically wants to say or what's its significance. Okay, so now you can easily answer it. Next is Portia, adieu. I have too grieved a heart to take a tedious leave. Thus losers part. Now, Morocco, he bids farewell to Portia and says that he is very disappointed. And being a loser, he does not have a very good chance to bid a good and grand farewell. Now, Morocco, he exits with his train, that is his follower, and he leaves Portia's place and Belmont, everything. Portia, a gentle riddance. Draw the curtains and go. Let all of his complexion choose me so. Now Portia says that it is a very good riddance. So basically she is happy that Morocco chose the golden casket because she didn't wanted to go with Morocco to his place. Basically she didn't like Morocco. So she is happy that he lost. Now she instructs her servants to draw the curtains and go away. And then she prays to the god that may all the people like him choose the same casket, the same choice, that is, which does not have the portrait of Portia. Excellent. And the scene it ends over here. So this scene it's very important. In Morocco's part, you have to take care of a few things. Basically, the part which Morocco have said. Okay, so for example, in a previous scene, we got to know that Morocco he was explaining about his complexion, all the different uh, merits he have got, his high standards, and what all things he can do to get Portia. Okay, so basically he was telling Portia to not judge him on the basis of his complexion and all. So you have to remember all those things which he said in the previous scene. So watch that scene as well so that you get to know that. A question, confirm the question will come in that in your school exams, and the question from here also comes in your test or your exam, that why he chose the Morocco, he chose the golden casket. Okay, so these things are extremely important. As for the Portia's part, they asked the question like what kind of image Portia had based on Morocco, and what she said after Morocco said this. For example, when he was boasting about himself that he can do this, he can do this, he has this. So what response did Portia give? For example, in last scene, Portia gave the response to all the things that he was showing off. She gave the response that it is of no use that you are explaining me not to believe on your complexion, because all the things, it depends on the fate. It depends. If you choose the casket with my portrait, of course I will be yours, whether I like your complexion or not. And if you chose wrong, I will not be yours even if I like you. Okay, so it's all based on what you choose. So the questions come like this also, that what Portia gave in response to all those show off and all those things that Morocco has said. So the scene, it ends here. Alright, thank you for watching the video till the end. Please like, comment and subscribe to my YouTube channel. Bye.